One thing about him, he's a hell of a fighter. You know, when we talk about Hall of Famer, he's a Hall of Famer. But nobody has the remedy on how to beat Floyd Mayweather. Don't let them trick you into getting your ass whooped again.
He's older than me.
Oh, okay.
I'm still young, so and I'm always active with this sport. So
Let me ask you, Manny. When you first heard that Floyd said, no, it's not a professional fight, it's an exhibition, what were you thinking?
I called just right away. What happened? What happened? Like what? That's not what we signed. Like we signed a real fight. So and he got his advantage. Why he's announcing like this propaganda exhibition that.
Manny didn't even raise his voice, yet he delivered one of the sharpest lines of the interview when he calmly said that Floyd is afraid of losing. I just sat there thinking, that isn't trash talk, it's surgical precision.
Floyd's signatures on multiple contracts.
And it says professional fight.
Professional
So
fight.
why do you think that Floyd is now saying, after he signed a contract for a professional fight, no, it's an exhibition? Why do you think? Do you have an opinion, a theory?
I think he's scared of losing. I mean, he's scared of losing because that's his, his leverage for, to go around and have exhibition because of his undefeated record.
Because he links it directly to that undefeated record. He is essentially saying the zero is not about legacy, but about protection. And if that disappears, the entire business model changes. The surprising part is that Manny is not emotional about it.
That was way back as Floyd is my fan. One of my fans.
He was one of your biggest fans? Yeah, like in other words, Floyd didn't want to take the risk at the time.
Okay. Yeah.
Jazz, you said that Floyd already took an advance on his purse, right?
He did.
Okay. How significant is that number? And then it was reported, I don't know if it's true or not, it was reported that he also used the contract as collateral to take another loan?
There's one loan.
Okay.
Right? So there's so many things that go around, right? There's one loan, but yeah, the contracts are, for that loan, the contract is collateral.
He is calm, almost respectful, but keeps repeating one thing like a broken record. We signed a real fight, which is low-key more pressure than yelling every few minutes could ever be. Then Jazz Mather jumps in and turns it into pure business language, talking about contracts, advances, and loans tied to those contracts.
And I'm with you, and the other fans are with you too. I don't want to see this again as an exhibition. The exhibitions are played out.
Right.
We want to see a fight. We want to see Mayweather risk his O, and we saw how good you looked against Barrios.
Yeah.
What is the next step here to make Mayweather honor his word and honor his contract?
Well, for me, he cannot get out for this contract because, a lot of consequences that he's going to face if he don't fight.
And I'm thinking, okay, now this isn't just a boxing debate. This is paperwork with consequences. Jazz is basically saying, look, this isn't a suggestion. This is signed, stamped, and backed by serious money. And if it doesn't go through, there are multiple powerful parties watching, not just Team Pacquiao. And I like how he keeps it cold. No panic, just we're not blinking, which tells you they're confident in what they've got on paper.
I think he's scared. He's scared. He's scared of his record, PFO. We don't want to go in that record because, like I said, that's
And the rest of the panel starts circling it from every angle. Max pushes the idea that it comes down to money versus the zero. Shady is basically saying, come on, nobody's walking away from that kind of money, while also hinting that Floyd knows exactly what's at risk. And you can feel the tension building because everyone agrees on one thing without saying it directly. This fight only falls apart if one side chooses control over legacy
and agrees to honor his contract. Then it's only Manny Pacquiao that he'll end up fighting. But if not, then you have all the big entities and corporations that are all intertwined in the same contract that both fighters signed. And of course, this doesn't even include all the other parties that are not even connected to this fight that recently filed a lawsuit versus Mayweather, which includes the IRS and the private.
And that's where it gets interesting, because Manny is chasing closure, while Floyd might be protecting perfection. And those two goals don't naturally meet in the middle. So now we're stuck watching a situation where the biggest fight possible is right there. Contract signed, money ready, fans locked in, and yet it all hangs on one decision: risk it or protect it.
Guys to accept the idea that it wouldn't be a professional fight.
Floyd is way too prideful to even think of doing something like that. When it comes to when you say things like that, right, related to doing certain things regarding his personal finances or things like that. He's way too prideful for that. You understand his whole image.
And just when Manny keeps it calm, almost too calm, repeating, "We signed a real fight," here comes Wade kicking the door open like, "Nah, forget calm. This is a 24-hour ticking clock, and somebody's about to blink." And I'm watching this thinking the energy just flipped from respectful legend talk to a full-on business emergency. Wade points out that deadline, end of business tomorrow, and suddenly this isn't about legacy or revenge anymore. It's contracts, advances, and consequences. And when he starts bringing up Floyd taking money already, I'm like, hold on, now we're in dangerous territory.
After he's going broke, he owes people lots of money. The IRS just leaned on him again, Fat Joe style, leaned back on him for another, $7 million? After Floyd took and advanced a cash.
Because Wade is basically arguing that Floyd isn't just negotiating, he's gambling with a signed deal. And whether you agree or not, that pressure sounds real when it's stacked like that. Then he goes into Floyd's pattern. Late negotiations, last-minute switches. And I get what he's saying, because historically Floyd has controlled the chessboard. But this time, Wade keeps reminding us, you're not just dealing with a promoter or a network you can outmaneuver. You're dealing with something bigger. And that changes the game completely.
Are gonna be on his ass in court. And that's not a fight he can win right now. Where's the money coming from? Floyd has got to be the dumbest person in a position that he is in. One of the dumbest rich people alive. He has to be. Because how do you think you're going to...
But here's where I'm pushing back a little. Because Wade starts painting this picture like Floyd has no leverage at all. And I'm like, come on. This is still Floyd Mayweather. The guy who turned control into an art form for 2 decades. At the same time, though, I can't ignore the other side he's hinting at. If Manny's team is this confident, repeating contract, then yeah, this might not be the usual power play. So now we're stuck in this weird middle ground where Wade is saying this could get messy. Manny's side is saying it's already done, and Floyd is silent, which somehow says the most.
Can't dictate this. This is foreign to him. He doesn't have the pull. He doesn't have the connect to do what he wants. And a lot of his team has left him. A lot of the Mayweather Promotions team is not there anymore. This is Floyd trying to run the show himself. Floyd's in breach of contract. It's either going to get really, really messy, meaning Floyd's going to become more in debt than he already is because there's no way he's winning a lawsuit versus Netflix.
And just when Wade had us staring at contracts like it's a courtroom drama waiting to explode, Chris Algieri walks in like, yeah, the fight's on. And I'm sitting here like, wait, what? That's the most boxing thing ever. Chaos for 48 hours, and then suddenly everything's fine. Like nothing happened. But then Lance Pugh jumps in saying Manny personally told him it's good to go. And that's where it gets interesting, because now you've got one side speaking loud and confident while the other side, classic Floyd, is moving in silence. And Paulie Malignaggi immediately calls that out like, hold on. Since when did Manny become the official spokesperson? And I'm nodding, because that's the real tension here. Not whether the fight is happening, but who controls the narrative.
Yesterday we talked on WhatsApp actually, and he said the fight is on. Floyd has come to the table. Everything's fine. We're good to go. I know Floyd has come out with a statement today saying not everything's done. And I'm not gonna look. I used to work for them, so I'm not gonna call fight hype.
Chris says it straight. Floyd isn't meeting you halfway. He wants you to come all the way over to his side of the table. And that right there explains this whole circus, because even Lance is basically laughing like, yeah, this is how Floyd always operates. You might be invited to the conversation, but you're not getting the answer until he feels like giving it. So when people act surprised, I'm like, surprised about what? This is the same playbook, just on a bigger stage now with Netflix involved. And here's the part one can't ignore. Everybody in that room sounds relieved, not convinced, like they're saying it's on, but also low-key waiting for Floyd to officially stamp it, because until he does, this thing still feels like it's floating. So now we're back in that familiar space. Fight confirmed, but not confirmed. Manny talking, Floyd quiet, and the entire boxing world just watching like, yeah, we've seen this movie before.
Briefly reconnected with Richard Schaefer, formerly of Golden Boy Promotions. And now Floyd has another representative that he works closely with. But look, at the end of the day, this is all about Floyd Mayweather and what he wants.
And just when we're sitting there like, okay, cool, fight's on, I guess. Robert Garcia steps in and basically pours a bucket of cold reality over the whole hype train because he's not even pretending to sell you fireworks. He's like, yeah, this is about money and nostalgia, not legacy. And honestly, I respect the honesty. When Robert says straight up, I'm not excited. I felt that because that's the part fans don't want to admit. We want to feel what 2015 was supposed to be. But time doesn't rewind just because Netflix hit record. Then he flips it and says, look, if you're talking $100 million, nobody's saying no. And suddenly all that retirement pride talk disappears real quick. And I'm like, yeah, let's not act like we're turning down generational money out of principle. But what really caught my attention was when he broke down the styles again, giving Pacquiao credit for the crazy 8-division run.
$100 million each, maybe, I don't know, and so it's hard to say no to that, man, especially if rumors are right that both might be having financial issues, but then picking up another.
Basically saying achievement-wise, Manny went on a side quest and completed every level, but then immediately goes, yeah, Floyd still beats him. And that's where the debate just refuses to die, because Robert isn't arguing resume, he's arguing style, discipline versus chaos. And we've seen that movie before. He even sneaks in that little gem about Floyd only needing 7 rounds. That's the coldest mindset in boxing. Not trying to dominate, just mathematically win, like a guy solving a fight instead of fighting it. Then he circles back to today and basically shrugs. Enjoy it, eat, watch, have fun. And I'm sitting here thinking that might be the most accurate preview of this fight we've heard yet. Not war, not redemption, just 2 legends stepping in, cashing out, and reminding us why we cared in the first place, even if it's not quite the same anymore.
He wouldn't take too many chances, which is also very smart from him. Pacquiao was a little more challenging. Pacquiao would take a little more risk, even though he probably had a fight already won. He would still take those chances to try to look a little more impressive. And
so where does that leave us? Somewhere between a blockbuster and a business deal. And honestly, that tension is the whole story. You've got Manny Pacquiao pushing for closure, legacy, that final stamp, calm, composed, but applying pressure like a veteran who knows exactly what he signed up for. On the other side, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is moving like he always has, calculated, controlled, making sure every piece of the chessboard is exactly where he wants it before he makes a move. And in the middle, contracts, money, narratives, egos, all colliding at once. One side is saying, it's already done. The other side is saying, on my terms. And until those 2 realities match, this fight feels both real and not real at the same time. That's the chaos of boxing. That's why we're locked in. And maybe Robert Garcia said it best without even trying. Don't overthink it. This might not be the war we dreamed about years ago, but it's still 2 icons stepping back into the spotlight. And whether it's for legacy, money, or a bit of both, we're all going to watch.
They're both huge names. Both Mayweather and Pacquiao worldwide are huge names. So we're all going to watch, but I rather think of it more of an exhibition. I don't think I don't even think it should be a fight. I think it's something where, yeah, they're both able to do it, step in the ring. And
now here's the real question. If this actually happens, is it closure or just business? Does Floyd protect the 0 again? Or does Manny finally flip the script? Drop your take in the comments. Let's really talk about it. And yo, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one.